It's crazy, by the way, that you just dropped that. Like, oh yeah, I want to go do like a hair transplant, and I wanted to learn how to do it. Like, that's where you're at in your intelligence. It's like,
well,
you're a doctor, and you're like, yeah, I'm just picking up a hobby, just learning how to do like transfusion of like. I'm like,
Blending hair cells.
blending hair cells. Yeah.
Dude, the stuff that I had to used to do when I was an emergency physician was so crazy. I mean, I'd have to like, I'd have to like stick a tube in the middle of their chest and like intubate them and stuff.
You were just like improvising.
Yeah,
he sticks the tube.
So
in
like,
the
to like put a couple of hair follicles back,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I could do anything. Like,
could do
they expect
anything.
as an ER doctor, you expect to know everything. Like, somebody shows up with like an infant not breathing, they expect you to fix that.
I believe
So like
That's
putting a couple hair
hilarious.
follicles in
That's
another
so
place, I'm
good.
like,
You're like a fucking
I could do it.
8-year-old in a kitchen just mixing shit together, all kinds of
Dude,
stuff.
I love how he's complaining about it too. He's like a server, you know.
But
it's like
car.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's
Except
like
a human being.
yeah, and their life's on the line.
Are we
But like
rolling?
if you can fix one
Yeah,
thing,
we're
I'm
rolling.
Sure you can
Cool.
fucking,
True.
All right, you want to kick us off?
welcome to a very special episode of Close the Door Behind You. Today we've got the crew from Close the Door Behind
Oh
You.
shit.
These are the boys who are New York City-based comedians. They're crushing it, young guys on the circuit, and they're part of our production team, and they're always at our shows. And I'm going to start from right to left, my right to left. First, Tomas. Tomas is prodigy child. Little background on him. When I first came to New York City, he was in high school running shows. Super funny, up and coming, like talented kid. Now we'll talk a little bit more about. Then we got
Very
Raffy
generous, thank
Truman
you.
in the
word?
center.
Just going past Tomas.
Raffy Truman. Raffy Truman is.
I'm Raffy Truman, gay comic.
Raffy Truman
He's
is
dating
our
a female
LGBT.
comedian. He might be gay, but he is dating a female.
He's a non-binary, bisexual, transvestite. That is.
You can't say transvestite.
I'm sorry.
You
Is that-
can't say that. It's got to be transgender.
Oh my.
Fuck.
Fuck!
Is,
I mean, you might,
Fuck!
And
he
here's
might as well be
Josue.
trans. He changed his last name.
I thought that was the more appropriate.
You know
term.
it's not the appropriate
know that.
one.
Is that really
Oh
not-
my god, dude.
All right, cut this.
Natalie, can you back me up here?
Yeah,
That would
Christos
piss
is
me
right
off
on
too,
that one.
honestly,
Christos is right on that one.
Oh, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
My apologies. I thought that was the like.
So the shit talker over here. This is Josue.
You didn't
Right,
say
fun
anything
dude.
about Raffy.
Well, it's Raffy Truman.
Said
He's
I'll
got
Stage riot.
Stage Riot. He's got drip. He made me wear his drip today. This is a little like Nintendo figure or something like that. And wherever I wear this thing, people stop me and go, "Oh my God, where is that?" This is Stage Riot. This is the creator of Stage Riot. This is
Sweater
Raffy
I
Truman.
made. Thank you. Yes.
Moving onwards, we got Josue. Josue is
Who is gay?
Got him.
a lot of gay
Whoa,
jokes
I've
going
never
on.
heard that before.
Even though-
Shots are
original.
fired.
Yep.
Josue is
Come shots
he's
are
been
fired.
hosting a bunch of shows, working at different comedy venues, and just super funny. Like just riffs,
you.
kills it every single time. There's every single
Kills
time
riffs.
He
it's
kills
a
it.
different
I feel the vibe.
set of jokes like off the cuff every time I see him.
He's lightning in a bottle.
If the bottle were like made in like some weird non-binary, I don't know. I don't know.
The
I
bottle
feel
was,
bad.
like,
I feel bad
ruining
about the
his-
trans thing, dude. I was
Nah,
like,
it's okay. You'll
So you
be
doubled
fine.
down.
all right,
You'll be fine.
yeah, I don't know why my brain went that way.
This is an educational podcast.
Yeah.
You're here to educate.
And then, of course,
I'm learning so little.
To my left, our Lord and Savior Christos.
I
Welcome.
hate when you say it like that.
I know, that's why I
It's
say it.
weird. All right.
Welcome everybody, guys. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So what have you guys been up to? What's happening?
You know, we were at Josue's shitty mic.
It was actually
It
it was
was
actually
pretty
very
good.
fun.
It was
actually
It was an open mic. We were all there, and then there was like a bunch of like old elderly women.
A lot of old heads.
They were
and one
like-
of them claimed that she wrote jokes for fucking Joan Rivers. But not only was she claiming that she wrote for Joan Rivers,
Yeah.
she wrote her Carson set.
Get
And then
out of
she
here.
proceeded to do the Carson set.
And then-
She did the
Really?
whole
Yes.
thing?
And then-
Yes.
and-
Oh,
Dude,
sh-
she
funny.
did-
Yo,
So she
then
wasn't
she
just an
might
au-
have been fucking
Dude,
the
I
one.
don't know.
But then
Was she an audience member, or she actually went up and did a?
No, she
did,
signed up for the mic.
oh,
She
wow.
did, yeah, she
Was
signed
she
up for the-
funny?
She roasted the
Well, it's
fuck out of
after
She
him.
kind of
Yeah.
did, yeah, because
Yeah.
I went up and I was like, there was like papers like on the table, and I touched them, and I'm like, whose are these? She's like, that's my shit, and I'm like, well, why is it not in front of you? And
Yeah.
then I said something else about,
You called them old. That
I,
was the top.
but like I did,
That's always helpful.
I said something like that. Oh, because their friend was missing, and then people had like wanted to sign up for the mic, but I was like, sorry, we're capped. So it was embarrassing because I called a name that wasn't even here, and then the ladies were like,
Missing like milk carton missing, or like missing
just like they were
she
like,
signed up for the mic and didn't show up.
just didn't show up. They were like, oh, like she's gonna come later. She's with us, and then she never came. And then people just stared at me like upset because they were like, oh, like you told me no, but someone isn't even here or whatever. Well, she signed up online, but I was like, yeah, like I'll save a spot. But I called her name is embarrassing. And then my only riff was, it's like, guys, they only have like 10 years left. Like let's let them.
They were
I was like, let's let them have this. Let's let
Damn.
'em-
I hate that
I
shit.
was.
Yo,
I
if
said,
you insulted Joan Rivers saying that, she would be pissed.
I'm just, I that's the only thing that came in my mind. And I was like looking at the young guys. I was like, fuck it, there's New York Comedy
Did
Club.
she tell you about her experience before that? And you still said that?
I'm the host, so I go up first.
No, she didn't. We did not.
Oh,
know
so you
that
didn't
she
find
was,
out that she
was
wrote
the
for
Joan
illustrious Joan Rivers.
I didn't find out.
Dude,
that,
if she's legit, bro, you were in fucking the presence of royalty.
There's
You
no
didn't get
way
her
she's
name?
legit.
There's no.
You don't
fucking
think
way.
so?
It doesn't make her royalty.
You think Joan Rivers didn't
Dude,
write
Joan
the
Rivers is in my
Parsons
top
set?
5
love
women.
Joan Rivers,
Top
but
5 women.
claiming
Yeah.
to write a sentence.
I'd
doesn't
I'd
make
love
her
for you to
royalty,
list
yeah.
your top 5 and then find
Yeah,
out
top
that
5
your
women
wife
right
is
now.
not even in that.
No, I'm sorry. I meant
he's
like
top 5
female
women.
comedians. Female
Okay,
comedians.
top 5. Let's go.
Top 5.
You want me to do? We're interviewing you. Well, number 1 is
Okay.
Maria Bamford,
Okay, very
1000%.
funny, Very funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then number 2, I would
Yeah.
say
Amy Schumer,
that would be funny.
Number
That would
three,
be
the top
funny.
bitch.
Deborah
Okay.
Wilson.
Hey.
He's
Deborah Wilson.
Okay. I don't know. Who that
Okay.
is, but continue.
Deborah Wilson. She was on Mad TV.
I know
She
Mad
has
TV.
okay, so she has like the bug eyes. She's kind of like
Okay.
never mind. Anyway,
he's like Amy Schumer again.
no. Number 3,
Yeah.
Tina Fey. She's Greek.
Oh,
she's
she's
Alright,
amazing.
now you're just giving political
Very
answers.
funny.
'cause
Yeah.
What are
got
you
to work with her
talking
one
about?
No,
day.
Tina Fey is funny, but we're
Yeah.
talking about stand up here or just
Yeah,
comedian?
she's-
Stand up,
She's a
funny
comedy,
woman.
writing. I
Sure,
consider
sure.
a comedian
Yeah.
all of these
Okay, sure.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tina
Let's
Fey.
talk
100%.
stand up. Who's funny in stand up? Who's a
Janine
female?
Garofalo.
Let's
is
not
the
touch that.
best,
Garofalo.
and she's the hottest a comedian has ever been in her prime. I'm not saying this to kiss ass.
Dude, Janine
Okay.
Garofalo
She was
awakened
very-
something
Her-
as a child for
Yeah.
me.
Fuck you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Speaking of funny female comedians, Corinne Fisher was at Josue's mic. You
Oh,
guys know who
yeah.
Corinne Fisher is?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
who's that?
She's a decently sized. She has like 100,000 followers. Very funny female comedian in New
She
York.
was
But
there, I didn't see
recently,
her.
she's running for mayor of New York City, and she was just there. Like she has a very successful podcast, like 100,000 followers. Like she, you know,
Is she a comedian? or
She's
she's a
the reason
politician?
that you
She's
guys
a
don't have the
politician.
studio
She's a
after 9
politician
o'clock
and
today.
she's
Really?
running for
Yes.
office. Interesting.
Wait, what?
What?
She's the reason we don't have it after 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Is she-
she's coming in after us.
Oh wow.
She's doing a
gonna be
podcast
using-
here?
Wow.
That's
She
crazy.
had a podcast on this network.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it's called
Yeah.
Last
Oh,
We
sick.
Fucked.
So
Yeah.
this is her podcast that she's doing at 9.
Yeah.
Is she
Nice.
legitimately running for mayor? Or is it
Yes,
a
she
bid?
is, and she's very serious. No, she's very serious about it. She's got mentioned on like Schultz's podcast with Charlemagne,
Hmm.
and she came to Williamsburg this last weekend to like interview the owner after the closing. So I assume she's there to do the same thing for Danny because she's serious about this mayor business.
That's fucking
And she's
true.
going to her
He told me
platform
that.
is, like,
I'm not
small
gonna lie. I
businesses.
felt
Yeah.
so bad because he's like, "Oh yeah, she's running for mayor," and I'm like, "Could you imagine running for mayor and then you're at an open mic and you're like, I'm
Yeah.
fighting for these guys.
Yeah.
These are the guys I'm
These are
trying
the
to like
citizens.
protect and
Yeah,
find
that's
like
great.
rights. Like I'm
Yeah.
all or like what whatever.
You know what probably happened? Like she was thinking up a policy, and one of her advisors was like, "Look, that's really lenient, and I think you're giving humans a lot of credit. Here, before you take any decisions, why don't you go to an open mic?"
Work some of this
No,
shit out.
well, actually, that's the thing. Her, I mean, I don't know the relationship, but like, it was a dude who went to perform, and she was recording him, and then are you sure? Because he went up on stage. He's like, yeah, I work at a vape shop, and I'm like, oh, someone's clearly the
Did
bread.
she go up or she was just
She
there
didn't
to-
sign
She
up.
didn't go
He
up.
okay.
We
he's.
didn't let her up.
You didn't let her go
No,
up.
I saw him. No. He came up. He's just like, oh, like.
He's
she-
like,
I-
gotta
he's
sign
like-
up online.
No, he insisted.
That was literally what he was doing.
Sign up
if
in
you want to,
advance?
if you want to perform.
Yeah.
No. He was
You
like,
gotta go to
15.
stmarkscomedy.com.
/open mic /530 get it go. No,
And remember to
It's-
rate me 5 stars. I'm Josue, your host.
you're. I hate elderly people. Anyway, but
She
no,
was probably there
he
to
was
decide
he
her
was
policy
he,
on abortion.
Yeah.
And she went there and she was like, all these people should be.
Yeah.
well, no, he was
Especially
he was,
the host.
He was very insistent. He was very insistent. He like went up to me, was like, I have 2 tickets, but only one of us is performing, and then he did. And then if that's true, like I don't even know how to like fathom that. That's if like I was walking in with like I don't know like Hannibal Buress, and I was like, yeah, we bought 2 tickets, but only one of us is gonna grace the stage. And then I go, it's like what, you know? But
That's funny.
yeah, she was recording it, and so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I
Who was
think
the guy? Was it a guy she was
It's a
dating or something?
videographer. No, it's the guy who's helping her with her content for her campaign. I've seen
Oh.
it before.
Oh.
is it really?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't exactly riveting
He's a
content.
campaign manager, but he's also a
I guess,
comedian
I
as
don't know.
well.
It's like, I don't know about
He's
this.
just doing the
this is, I've
mic.
seen him
What was
twice,
the
but
chemistry between the two of them? Were they
They were
Definitely
sitting there
fucking.
and not
Definitely
talking.
fucking?
That's what I was
Definitely.
asking.
Seriously?
No, I'm being.
Don't
Thank you for
talk
translating.
shit.
Yeah, you can't. What if she becomes mayor and they're like, well, on a
I know, right?
podcast, she was discussed as.
Raffy Truman's.
What if? Well, she was recording him. What if he like looks back on the recording and after every joke she's like, haha, but as a friend, as a buddy, as like I'm
So
just
every girl watching your set.
basically yeah.
Oh,
just like,
shit.
Oh.
That's
Dude, this guy's
savage.
fucked.
My man,
Why are you so mean?
my man gets one girlfriend. He's like, yeah, these fucking schmucks, they don't
You
know.
know, before, have you ever brought a girl to a show to watch you?
I thought you were about
No.
to say.
You
So
never
many
did
times.
comedy single.
Me
right?
never.
I genuinely
Not
genuinely
to
thought you were
this
about to say, yo,
caliber.
have you ever felt love? I thought he was.
You guys ever felt?
But yeah, I have.
Did it go bad? Like immediately after?
There was
Like a first date situation, you mean?
there was one time
Like
it
to
went
impress
really.
her?
It was one time it did go really bad. I mean, yeah, it
So
went
she
bad.
saw you go up and she was
She
like,
saw
"I'm not
me.
fucking him."
I hosted a mic and then I remember I did this joke and it was just like about my sister and how she's lesbian. I forgot what the joke even was. It was just like she's lesbian.
Something about the vaccine.
Yeah, like you know, they got her. I told her not to take the vaccine, and then I said, "This is how I found out she was lesbian." I started making out with her, and in the middle, I was like, "Do you like this?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, because you're gay. You're gay. That's the only reason." That was it. That was the joke.
It's funny.
But you
But
brought
then-
a girl to a mic you were hosting?
I've done
Yeah,
that, dude.
the
I've
plan
made
was
that mistake.
meet up earlier. I was like, I have this thing. I forgot. We go to the mic, and then we're gonna get food after. We do it, and then she just was like, I didn't like what you had to say. It was
She
not.
said
good."
that?
She was like, you sounded very homophobic, and I was like, it's my sister. Like, it's
You're like,
true.
How can I be
and it was-
homophobic? I'm gay.
Just a
Yeah.
dating pool
how
in
can
New
I
York City
hate?
is
How
just
can I
super,
hate
super
my
liberal
own
and
people?
progressive.
How can I?
I feel
But,
like that's how you know you were cooking, though. Like, if this offends a woman, like this kind of.
That's fair.
Okay, Raffy.
Yo.
Token incel. Thank you for
Token
representing the
incel.
community.
That-
No, but I can actually one up you one.
Please.
I
yeah,
was,
you, of all people, yeah, there's no way.
I was talking to this girl
It's
that I
Beyblade,
used to
Beyblade
talk
let her
to.
in.
So like I was dating this girl
This
for a
Gen Z
while.
terminology.
We went like a year like without talking. Then we started talking again. She was actually a huge comedy fan.
Okay.
Went to like a bunch of shows and stuff. So she knows good stand up.
Were you talking to her prior
So
to doing
not your
stand up
act?
or while you're doing stand up?
Definitely not my act at the time. This
You were-
was
so-
probably like 5 months into comedy. I barely had
Okay.
5 minutes at the time. So like
Barely
she's
had
coming
5.
to like one of my first shows. One of the first shows that
That's
I
a m-
booked myself.
That's a
too.
month a
Mm.
minute.
Can I tell the goddamn story?
Sorry, you're right.
But, so I go up, and she was also like really into house music too. And like the venue that I was running at the show was so shit that they were actually like playing music while we were up there. They're like playing like shitty rave music. So I made like this one joke, and I said, I'm sorry about the shitty music. This place is ran by Persians. And then
Wow.
she and her
So
friend just
funny.
got up and left.
Really?
That's
Was she
crazy.
Persian?
Yeah. No, she was really into rave music. So I think she was enjoying the music more than
Oh.
the comedy.
Oh my
Oh, really?
That's-
Yeah.
Dude, I brought a
Damn.
bunch of NYU kids to see me do a show, like friends that I was like newly made at the beginning of the year.
Oh,
like,
Yeah, that
crucial
was a good
relationships,
idea.
And I bombed.
Oh,
Like
no.
flat out bombed.
You were
And I
out.
don't make eye contact with those kids again. Like I'm telling you,
Damn.
I walk around my dorm room like on my phone or with my head down because if I make eye contact with those kids, it's like a moment. It's like so I literally walk around like I get in an elevator with my back backing into the elevator because I might want to make sure there's no chance I have to make eye contact with one of these.
Was
5
your
kids.
perception that you bombed, or you think you really
So
bombed?
it was already a bad show. It
But
wasn't
just-
great.
just-
yeah.
For
So,
perspective,
I'll tell
he's
you,
been
yeah.
doing like comedy way before going to NYU. So you've already been like doing comedy for years.
Yeah. it
So I
didn't,
just
like-
doubt you bombed. So go
He's a
ahead.
veteran.
Yeah, but Judd, you do enough shows. You're still gonna have some flops. Whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good show. It's tight audience. Comedian before me didn't do well.
Mhm.
I go up. I have like I don't have. I like it's like not a good.
He's like,
set.
I'm gonna crack the room.
That's literally
Yo,
what I thought.
let the
I
master at work.
literally thought that. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, I know y'all haven't seen good comedy, but here's me. I'm 18
Oh,
years
no.
old.
No,
No, that's
know
not
you
what I
haven't
did.
seen good comedy. That was your intro.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was.
What are you talking about?
So
Josue
not
once
like my
told me-
set. Okay.
Was it new material or was
No,
it
no,
your?
I was literally like,
It's
I was
tried
like,
and true.
Because when you bring people, you're like, I'll just play the hits. I don't want to bomb in front
Right,
of them. So I was
right,
like,
right.
okay, like I'm not gonna be able to develop any new stuff, but at least I'll kill.
Right.
Bomb. Booker comes up to me. He was like, dude, that was the best set in the show. I'm like, you weren't watching, I guess. Like I don't know the Bookers. He does whatever. Okay. Anyways, The comic after me. This is you guys know JJ Lieberman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yes.
This is before he moved to Austin, Texas. Before he bombed on Kill Tony. Before he started selling sex machines for $1,000.
He bombed on Kill Tony?
No, I'm playing with him.
Oh.
But whatever.
Tell me about the sex machines when you're done.
I'll tell you about JJ. But he goes after me, and he just doesn't care. And the audience is like, it's been like a tight show, and he's like, I like fucking machine gunning through twink asshole, and they're responding to it. And all my friends, he's killing with all my friends.
Yo.
And like I'm just like I bombed around my friends too. I remember the picture of my friends in the back booth, and there's one gay kid, this white gay kid. I have a thing burned into my head, which is him like it was hot, so he's like fanning himself, and just listening to my jokes was just like a face like you're not funny, but he's like fanning himself the whole
He had a
time.
fan?
And I
Holy
think
shit.
about that when I go to sleep at night. I think of just like this kid just fucking like waiting for a punchline, and
Oh
there's no
my
punchline.
God.
Yeah.
But it's a very vulnerable position for you
Generational
to
bomb,
put
yeah.
yourself in front of these. They're kind of new
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So like to let them be
Yeah.
like, hey, like I'm gonna be able to judge you. You're
Yeah.
definitely putting yourself in a
Oh,
vulnerable situation.
vulnerable as fuck.
Did,
That
did you
show,
did
I
you at
didn't
one
want to invite
point
them.
during your
Yeah.
set think to be like, yo, but I want to see y'all do this or
No, because I have an act, Josue.
Because you have an act. Wow.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah,
Josue's talking
yeah.
great.
Yo, I have an act. I don't have friends at school. I don't have people to hang out with. But I got 10 minutes. Yo, I don't.
No, you're
yo,
not wrong.
he's like-
You're not wrong.
He's like,
that's the story of my
He's like-
life.
Dude,
Dude,
the
That's
the
literally the story of my life.
Dude,
Bro.
the
Like,
best part is that you've been shunned by like beta cuck NYU
Yeah, the
students.
last
Yeah.
people
That's
you
They're
wanna
like the
hang out with
biggest
in real life.
pussies on the planet,
No,
or
but like,
NYU
no.
students.
Like 3 of them, like a couple of them, I'm still friends with. They're not beta cocks, but the 3 other were like, okay.
Bro,
I'm
they're
not
like-
gonna. Someone's gonna listen to this.
I
but-
think it'd be funny if you
No, no
like
one's listening
went to
to
school and they're like, now we got to
Hey,
give you
hey,
a wet
people are
dream.
listening, you fucking douchebag.
Yeah, that's the point of this thing.
These
is to
are
be like,
hot.
hey, no, we're having a lot of fun here.
Yeah,
It's a good
yeah, we're
podcast.
having
They're like,
fun. We're
we got
having
to go
fun.
back to our tent, the pro-Palestinian.
Yeah.
That's Columbia.
You know,
Adding
speaking,
value.
Oh,
speaking
yeah,
of
yeah. That
speaking
is
of
cool.
embarrassing shit when you first start stand up, you know, Josue told me in his first bit ever, the first thing he ever said on stage is,
Oh,
"These aren't jokes.
These are
s-
spells. They were,
Stop. You did not say
I
that.
did.
Oh
I did
my
say that.
Did it go well? Did they like that?
I mean,
that?
the owner of the club asked me to hang out, and he whipped his penis out and was like, I hate to do that.
Which club?
No, this was in Sacramento. It was just like, dude, I was so nervous. I was like shaking. Literally in the
I
video,
like it.
I think I showed you the video. It was like shaking. It was like, I don't know, because I just had the book, and I was like fuck yeah, like like fucking spells. I don't know. I thought this what my brain conceived of, and so I don't think it's like the worst joke. Actually, this is just a random story.
Dude, don't ever let anybody put you on medication. Just
Thank
stay
you.
like this.
Yeah, of course you would say that.
Oh, you've
This-
tried
I
to put
love
me
the
on
way
Dude,
his brain works.
Imagine Josue like as your server, like, hey, I'll take like a lobster pilaf, please. Oh, that's really cool. Like a lobster, like lobster pilaf is like, you know what is really cool
yeah.
about this? One time I had lobster pilaf.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So continue your story.
I
Fuck.
What the fuck is a
I did a mic, or I was hosting.
You never
a
had a
mic, and-
lobster pilaf?
We get it. You're rich.
I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
rich.
Yeah, he is rich.
I'm basic.
He makes 400
That's a
grand
lot
a
of
year,
syllables.
guys. Lowe's Home Improvement.
For a comic, that's rich.
I did this mic, and I'm not talking shit. I thought
That's
it was
a
hilarious,
sizable income.
That's rich. And
You
I
have
mean,
a
not for
baby
New
on the
York, but,
way.
like,
Don't be
for the
in.
world.
You have a baby on the way?
I do.
You didn't know that?
You don't
I
listen
didn't-
about my life at all.
Congrats.
Because I really don't care. But
Wow.
you have a baby? Like, you're going to have a small little...
Yes, bro.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
but you should
Congrats,
not be
congrats.
self-conscious about making a good living for your family. I
I'm
wish I-
not.
Yeah.
Tomas, hasn't lived in the real world yet, and he's like a
This man's
little.
a child.
What are
I
you
have-
talking about?
yo,
I haven't lived
Christos,
in the real
He's
world.
he's a little nepo baby.
No, I know he looks 56.
Yeah.
Christos,
but
I
he's just
am,
such
but
a
I've
little
also
guy.
lived in the real world. I've
What's
been
the
doing
real
comedy
world?
since 15. How is that related anyway?
Dude, that's not the real world, dude.
That's
like
not
a
the real
whole-
world.
That's like a
That's a subset of
paradoxical...
the
You're
world.
right, but the
Real
point I'm
world.
making
Yeah.
is it's completely separate from any advantage I could have had. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like.
Yeah, there's no advantage. You're right.
Yeah.
You are humbling yourself by entering the
I'm
space
not,
of stand up.
You're
saying,
humbling
like,
yourself
Oh, I'm so
by
nice.
asking-
I'm humbling myself. I'm just saying there's no way I could have had. It's like comedy's like there's no like I'm at a disadvantage from being, like, you know what I mean? No.
Kinda.
You guys are being.
Well, you
very-
started at
mean,
15. I don't know. 15 is such a young age
Yeah,
to
that's like weird to do anything.
I wish I started
also
young, but
low-key-
I'm glad I didn't. It's really weird.
Low key, I mean, there are also, like, in New York culture, it's just normal that it's like you have a son that's like 15. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go do coke at the party. real
Yeah,
quick." Like,
right,
that's
right.
like, that is foreign. And
That
like,
was
any,
right.
any other
Yeah,
state, even,
exactly.
That was
even in
right.
California,
Exactly.
maybe like arguably like Los Angeles, but in California, it's like, yeah, it's like, if anything, you have your first drink at 18, and then you
Yeah.
have maybe sex like at 17, 18 in high school, whatever. It really depends, and it's all case by case.
Well, they're at
And-
least smoking pot when they're 13.
That's so funny. We were
Yeah.
both.
Nah,
sides
they're.
of the
I
spectrum
mean,
of the
it's
East
like
Coast boy.
it's very specific. There's maybe
Yeah.
that one kid, and
Yeah.
then, but it's like, oh yeah, that's like Eric. He's not gonna. He's gonna go to penitentiary.
Yeah.
You know,
So
penitentiary.
smoking weed kids were the bad kids.
Later, yeah, like like I've not gone back and like reconnected with people from high school, and I'm like, yo, shit, the guy who smoked weed every day is a doctor now. Like that's not like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he made it. No,
That's
I
fair.
am.
so, but in New York, it's like
Yes, I am.
Do you guys
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
the first bad kid you ever met?
What's
Do you guys
that?
remember- Do you guys
Raff-
remember the first bad kid?
it's
you ever
Raffy
met?
Truman, dude.
That's awesome. I would love that.
The first bad kid.
I remember this
But
kid.
like how bad though?
I remember like in 5th grade. I was like in 3rd grade. I met this 5th grader who lived in my mom's apartment complex. It was like the 2 years I lived in Florida. His name was Jared. Total piece of shit. Like fucking 5th grade.
Yeah.
I remember like we were skating at the time, so I remember we just skateboard to his house. He had like so much porn, like so much, like print porn, and like there's like the internet was already out.
Yeah.
Was this like
already-
discs
He
or was
just
it
had
like tapes or
he
what
had a
was
few
it?
tapes, but he had just magazines on magazines on magazines, and he's like, yeah, my mom's boyfriend buys me these, and I'm like,
That's
Whoa.
kind
is
of
he tou-
weird.
yeah, I think he's being touched or something.
That's crazy.
But
That's
it was
kinda
pretty.
weird.
But he was like, he was smoking weed out of like tinfoil, looked like crack.
How
but
old
it
was he?
He was in the 5th fucking grade, dude.
Oh,
But it was like
10.
Panama City, Florida.
Oh,
It was
that's
like, it was like
yeah,
bad
yeah.
fucking.
So
spot.
he already had a
You used
kid.
to live in Florida?
Yeah, for 2 years, my mom moved
Did
out
that
there.
surprise you?
Started a business.
What was the business?
It was actually a scrapbooking company.
A
Well, that's cool.
scrapbooking.
My
Yeah.
wife scrapbooks. She loves that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. Anyway,
Anyway.
I'm on Adderall right now.
I
are
was-
you?
Are
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Why?
An unnamed comedian before we left the mic, Danny Metz, gave me.
You just
Give
named
some
him.
Adderall.
just
How
named
much?
I don't know.
30?
We could bleep it out,
The
but I
blue
don't want
10s
to.
or the-
We can't. We want to give as little editing needs as
So
possible.
don't bleep it out.
So don't bleep it out.
Leave it in there.
All right, fine.
Is this the
Danny
first
time
Metz
you've
taken
on
Adderall?
I don't know, but he had a lot of it.
It'd
You
be-
never
Were
had
they
Adderall
the blue
before?
ones or the
This
orange
is
ones?
definitely this is probably the second strongest Adderall I've ever done. But I like Adderall a lot. I could do it at work.
Just get it
and
from
shit.
Doc.
Was it a 30
I-
milligram or was it a 10?
It was an orange one.
That's a 30.
I think it'd be
Hell yeah.
hilarious if Danny Metz had like a job interview after today, and then he like gets it, and then and then his boss is like, "Hey, we saw this podcast with a bunch of incels.
Just
You
don't
wanna-"
tag him.
Hey,
yeah.
only one.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Wait, you ever try Vyvanse? That's the one I'm prescribed.
No, what does
Vyvanse.
that do?
Vyvanse is like meth.
Yeah, Vyvanse is way stronger. It's longer release, like
Right.
so you don't have like the crash. It like
Yeah.
releases
Well,
slower.
the orange
Is it
one
even
actually
focused?
is like
That's
that. It
stronger than
lasts-
mine?
Well, it's not stronger. Just it's long acting and slow release. So you'll probably be up all night.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, how about Ritalin? You ever try Ritalin?
Never
That
tried
shit's
it.
hardcore.
I stole some of my grandma's Klonopin before a flight to Disney World, and that shit
Klonopin knocks you
put
out.
me the
For a
fuck
day or
out. It was
so.
crazy.
Yeah.
Heard they call
I
them
took-
K-pins.
I took my medical board. Somebody gave me a Ritalin, and I literally took the thing, and I was in a room full of like 1,000 people. And I'm not like necessarily the best, fastest test taker, and it's a major test. I ripped through the thing so quick. I like went to go stand up. I was the first person to stand up in the room, and I went. I'm like, I went back and checked every answer,
Yeah.
and I waited because I literally felt like
I used-
self-conscious, and I waited for like 50 people to go up and hand in their paper. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go up now, and
I used to do this all the time in high school. Like if I finished the
men.
test way too quickly,
Mm-hmm.
I would literally just kind of doodle, and then I would just because it's like then if you fail the test, it's like damn, like
Yeah.
like
I
everyone
was
just
so overconfident.
everyone just thought like yo like he's a genius, and then it's like nah, it's like
I was such a bad student though. I would knowingly fail tests. Like I did not study for
on
it. Really bad.
purpose?
Yeah, I remember I went to summer school on purpose, like 3 years in a row, because it was like
purpose.
so
On
much
purpose.
easier. If you just smoothed the fucking teachers enough, if they liked you, they would just pass you.
In
They
summer
felt bad
school.
for you because you
I like
they
that
thought
you
you were a dumb fuck for
I
being
like
in high school.
I like that you say
Street
like
smart.
on purpose, like as if like what if you try
Yeah.
like, right?
Yeah,
like
on
like
purpose?
like
What do you-
yeah.
Trying to make it sound
I just
cool?
knowingly didn't try in school because I know like I would just pass summer school like way easier.
Oh, that's
He's making this sound really cool.
Yo.
You're making me feel better about myself.
I know, dude.
Yo,
Like,
when you
such
have
a
your
fuck up.
kid, like you should have him be the nanny.
That would be
Why
fun.
is your life so fucked up?
Just
I,
let them
I
hang
would
out with me
trust
for
him.
several
Yeah.
hours.
I would trust Raffy with my son.
Would you really?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
really?
sure.
Do you want to kill your son? Like
No, dude. Raffy has
Oh,
class.
it's a boy.
Dude,
you can
Yeah,
understand
he's
this.
a boy. Raffy has class.
Kids
I
fuck
would
with
do
me.
it. Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you give enough kids drugs, they're gonna fuck with
Yeah.
you.
Kids fuck with
Yeah, kids.
I put oxy in their little orange juice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Dude, by the way, I'm just curious. How was it doing comedy at 15? I know you probably get asked that
Yeah.
like all the time, every day of your life.
I haven't gotten asked in a while because that was 4 years.
Because like
ago,
I started
but-
at 19 and I thought that was
He's
hard.
still young to be doing comedy.
Yeah,
Like,
you
you're
are
still
young.
How old are
like
you? You're
young
18
man
right now,
comedy.
right?
19. I just turned 19. Like
Congratulations, happy birthday. Exactly. You just
Happy birthday.
It's not my birthday month. I'm not a white.
Because
woman.
what's a
Oh.
comic's
Oh, I-
prime? Like what, 30, 35?
Well,
Like,
it's
that's
not
what
a-
your- those
prime.
are
They
your
say-
20th years.
They say you either get big at 20 or 40.
I do say that.
Yeah.
When do you think you
Well,
are
it's-
your
it's-
funniest in life, though?
I think
I
you're your funniest in your 20s.
It's not about age. It's about
I
how
don't-
long you've
Yeah.
been doing.
I
comedy.
also would yeah, I agree. It's not even age. I think at a certain point, it's just the biggest test is can you keep up with the times. That I think makes or break comedians later on in their careers.
Yeah.
Because there are probably like a bunch of hilarious comics like in their heyday were like in the fucking 80s 90s they were
Oh yeah,
killing
they
it.
stagnated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
if you
then-
make your money and get out, that's awesome.
Well, you can
Mm.
also make your own lane too, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
if you're older or whatever, you got to make your specific lane. Like Rodney Dangerfield, you know,
Yeah.
like
Right.
that. He
They
was
don't know
doing
what that
his
is.
thing.
Right. But those comics back in the day, they would put out one special. It would be a mega hit, and then it would just be downhill.
then you could
from there.
tour forever though off that.
Yeah,
special.
they could, but
Yeah.
like they would be downhill from there. Like, and all of them just put out like shit work. Like one good special, then everything shit. Like like a lot of those like Rodney type guys.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I think it's because in back then there was like less people doing it. There was less social, like all this, like media wasn't as decentralized, so that got around for a lot longer.
Mm.
But
And,
that's
like,
in everything. Someone does something really dope, and then they just take the money project, and it's all shit. You know, how many actors
Yeah.
just make shit after they win best picture or
That's
best
true.
actor?
True,
That's a
true.
good
But
point.
there's so much more
But
stuff now,
also,
so you have to
I-
keep keeping up.
I agree with Raff. I feel like at a certain point, some people, I think people forget comedy. Like some guys, they just want to make it a career. Some people are just happy.
Do you not want to make it a career?
No, I do. But it's
Oh,
like some
cool.
guys are just more happy
Mhm.
to like, look, if I can just have a house and family
Yeah.
and just tell jokes and like, you
Yeah.
know, that's enough for some people. Not
That's
to
enough
say
for
that that's
me.
like,
Yeah.
I say that like I'm doing it. It's like, that's not, it's just like, well, some people want to be like, oh, I want to have a special. I want to be famous. And,
Mhm.
I forgot who said it, but a comic, I was just like at Stand Up New York before it was like, went to the
Yeah.
ground. And I remember they were saying like, if you want to be a comic, do this. If you want to be a star, and then that was like the distinction that I had made that day. Kind of like, oh, which one do I want to be?
Don't you love when open micers break down the industry and how to be famous?
So
and, give
this
It
is
wasn't an
how you
open
do
micer.
it.
It wasn't an open micer. It was someone I'm completely
But
forgetting.
that is a common thing. Like people have been doing comedy for like 5 months. Like, yo, here's the deal on how to make it in comedy.
Yo, here's a pro
And they're
tip.
like, yeah,
There
Well,
is a
let me
guy.
Make fun of the room.
I-
Well,
I
this
just-
is
I've got a
advice
question.
from anybody.
I just got a
like,
question about you
processing.
guys though that I think that most people don't realize, like in the public, how little comedy pays
Yeah.
and what a sacrifice it is, especially when you're young. You know, to be in that zone, to be spending so much time doing this
Beautiful.
and
Tell
taking
me
it
about
so
it.
serious. Like, how do you manage that? How do you navigate that field of like work and comedy balance?
What I would say is I feel like for me, everyone's situation is different, and unfortunately, I think I've met a lot. When you're younger, it's weird because I've met some people who just live in New York or like their parents are heavily financing like everything they do. Like it almost like pisses me off when like I meet a young comic. And they're like, yeah, my parents pay my rent. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it's super easy. For me, who doesn't have that, it's like. It's from any, I guess if I had to give advice, it's make sure your finances are in check. Be a human first. Like, pay your rent, pay your utilities, have enough to eat, and then figure out how can I squeeze comedy. It should always be that. Some people are super open and will, and I understand the sentiment, but they're so willing to be like, oh, yeah, like, I'll just, like, do comedy, and I'll eat, like, instant ramen every night. Like, that's not a human. That's not how a real
It's
human.
not a human, but it is how you make it in comedy. Like you just
I mean,
sacrifice
I think
everything
we-
to become like a husk of a human being who can do comedy.
But it's also like I get that, but it's also at a certain point, it's like you have to be like a regular person and live
Yeah,
a
you
regular
have to have
life.
some kind of.
I
life.
think there are moments. I think every comedian has a moment where they're like, "Oh, I'm sleeping on the floor. Oh, I'm like couch surfing." But that should be a moment. That should be like, "Oh, that's why I want to work harder. That's why I want to do what I do." But if that's every day of your life, where it's like I sleep on the floor, I don't have
Well,
an
it's every
apartment.
day of your life. It means you sacrificed stuff and you didn't work hard enough and didn't make it.
But that's the thing. Like, what level is like I don't know how to say. Like, what's
I've known
a sacrifice?
lot of funny guys who quit, and like that's
Yeah.
the thing. They wake up one day and they realize like,
What am I doing?
I'm good at this, and like I
Yeah.
am getting farther slowly, but I also have a good job that I'm making money at.
yeah.
I also have
Yeah.
other things in my life to look forward to. I don't fucking have that, you know.
I mean,
It
yeah,
sounds
I
gay
mean,
and stupid, but you know,
No,
it's
it's so
love of the
true.
game. Bro.
I
Like,
honestly, and I've kind of felt this personally. I don't have to get into like the ins and outs, but I feel like some people get to a point where like I'm tired of being broke, you know, or I'm tired of whatever, having a roommate. I'm tired of, like, it's been 7 years and I live with like some hairy dude, and it's like, nah, I need to think about a career, a family, and all that. So it's like everyone's path is different, and I respect everyone's choice and what they want to do.
Well, there's
in
also
terms
the
of their
guys
finances.
that go from being rich and in finance to doing comedy.
Yeah.
But there's
That
a
is
few of
true.
Those guys you see, that people
Yeah.
who like literally had like a stable job like that.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite of that, where they go to like, fuck this, like that was depressing. I wanted to kill
Well,
myself.
well, sometimes I've felt that too, where like I'll be at a mic and then I'll meet a guy who is like, or girl, it doesn't matter, but like just person, and then they're like, oh, like, yeah, I work on Wall Street, or I'm a doctor, I'm a this or lawyer, and then they're like, what do you do? And it's like, oh, I just do stand up, and then they're like fascinated by it. They're like, oh, I'd love to be a comedian. I'm like, you could do that tomorrow for $5. I wish I was like
it's
a
not
lawyer.
A career for them, Josue. Like they're not like like doing open mic is like they do it once a month,
Yeah.
and it's like their excitement. It's not like.
But
they're
even
not
then,
doing
though,
it like
it's
us.
like the fact that there's someone like a lawyer or someone like with a high prestigious job, or just anything for that matter, it's a 9 to 5, and they're like a little envious, or they're like, oh, I wish I could have your life, dude. I would kill for your life. Granted, I'm killing myself for another life, you know, and that's the sacrifice you
It's
make.
funny that you mention it though, because like just like the other night, me and my girlfriend, you know, we're in that weird spot where, you know, we're talking about kids we're never gonna have, and
Yeah, weird spot everyone has.
you've been there, but you know, we were talking about like, would you want your fucking child to do stand up? And she was open to just her child being in entertainment, because she acts to. She's
Oh, is
she's
that
open to
Ann?
having a child that's like in that world. I would never want my fucking kid in this world. I feel like I'm doing this so my kid wouldn't have to do this. You know,
Well,
like
I think it's
why would you want your fucking son to do stand up? You know, like the reasons I do stand up is because my dad wasn't fucking there for me. Like if at its core, like you know, like
I mean, I hear what you're saying.
this is
I don't
becoming
know.
therapy though. This
I would
is-
I would say I get what you're saying. Well, I feel like
Sorry.
I heard this thing, I forgot from where or what, and it helps me. Is it's like someone said something about like in life there are things asked of you. Like your kids are like, I need you to go to work so I can go to school, whatever. And then your parents ask of you, yo, be successful, be a doctor, be like, people are asking. No one's asking you to do stand up. No one's at, like, you don't wake up and your dad's like, yo, did you do a set today? Your girlfriend,
Yeah.
mom, dad, friend, no
I
one
would
cares.
probably do that with my kid.
You would
I
do
would
that?
definitely do that with my kid, because let me tell you something.
You got
as
5 minutes?
anecdotal evidence of this kind of working.
Yeah.
Like Wyatt tours with his younger brother.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah,
Right?
it's really dope. It's cool.
though.
Yeah, like hey, whatever. If he's not your cup of tea, which is fine. If he is, I love the guy. You know,
Wyatt, yeah.
He fucking goes in with his brother. They have a show together. People coming to see them. Like, and he's like, yo, this is the blueprint that I did. You're younger than me. Like, follow this blueprint. We team up, and then. Yo,
I've tried to get so many other dudes in stand up. Like I've
Yeah.
brought dudes like to mics because I know
Yeah.
like half the dudes in my neighborhood are
Yeah.
way more funny
Hilarious.
than the common open micer.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I tell, and like the more of us that are in this, the better. But like,
right.
you know, they
You-
just
the
don't
sa-
want to.
the-
They
well,
don't like
rising tide lifts all ships.
They don't
Yeah.
crave that attention though.
Yeah.
like the same thing. It's not in their head. Like I don't need to go on stage.
Which is
to
totally
be funny.
valid and
Like,
fair. Some people
yeah,
What do you
just
think,
they have.
Tomas?
I
You're
wish
kinda
I
going
had
like a very like a very steady path. I mean, you're going to NYU film school, like you're doing things kind of by the book, but at the same time you're making time to do production, to do mics. Like, what's your perspective on it?
Well, like my perspective on like what, how much you should sacrifice, or like what do you mean?
Yeah, like obviously how are you doing it? How are you, are you able
Well,
to do enough
I mean,
mics? Are you able to?
Josue made a joke about it earlier. I have an act and no friend. Like that. Like, no, I still
I didn't make
have-
that joke. You said that. And then I was
It's
No,
not
no.
because of comedy that you have no friends.
think
It's
it's
because
worth it,
you're an
though.
asshole.
We found it,
It's-
guys.
it's your
we
vibe. Aren't you
solved it
rushing
here.
for a
Gas
frat? Are you
Digital.
still doing that?
I'm technically in a fraternity.
You shouldn't be.
Which fraternity?
Delta Gay Chi.
Oh, okay.
Double penetration.
super incel. I don't know.
Shut up, Josue.
But going back to like Judson's question, like it's literally just like that. Like I've been doing this, and there's one point when like in high school, like I was like half doing comedy, still hanging out with some friends, still trying to go to parties and do that stuff, and then I had this like little mini like cancellation thing in high school, and then from that I
Would you
went
get
like,
canceled for
whoa,
in high
little
school? You
mini
can't just
cancellation.
you can't just
Let me
bruise
finish
over
this.
that.
Okay, finish and then
Let me
elaborate.
finish and
Yeah.
elaborate.
Yeah.
And then,
So-
okay.
Were you
and
texting
then-
a middle schooler?
Said
Like,
then I went on a
Finish
racist
what you're
tirade.
gonna say and go and elaborate
Okay,
on the
I will
cancellation.
elaborate.
Why the fuck do we want to hear anything
Yeah.
after
Okay,
that,
'cause
bro?
it's
I got
normal.
canceled in high school anyway. So this is
yo, why'd you make fun of vapes, bro?
Are you done?
Why'd you make?
no,
you
no.
done?
Sorry. Finish your
Okay,
vital
so,
thought.
It's very vital.
Okay.
So
face, man.
Kind of like you and male cock. Okay, so
Oh.
I'm sorry.
That's
Well-
vitality, not.
same word, different tense. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that happened, and then I transitioned to like, full comedy now because literally like, girls wanted nothing to do with me, and all my friends were like,
I believe that.
So, yeah, that was from before. That didn't change, but so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go full comedy now, and then the first like few months of that sucked because it was like I don't have parties to go to, and I don't have any shows or clubs to go to. But then once I got thrown in, that was like almost the best thing that could happen to me because it put me full like we're just doing comedy every weekend, writing every day, going up, and that's the weekly schedule that I established. Where I try and get like 8 sets a week, write 5, 4 or 5 times, and go to clubs and stuff. And now I've gotten into a bunch of clubs, and I'm lucky that I have those connections.
Congratulations.
All right, so what happened?
So.
He went up to like a house
I
party.
date
and
raped
was-
someone.
Don't say that.
He's like-
this
he's
is a
like- he's
story
like-
of Tomas getting canceled in high school. Go ahead.
Go.
What are you gonna? Is that for a clip? You're gonna
Bro,
clip
bro,
this
I
in?
Yeah,
bet-
of course.
I
Yeah,
bet
you're
he went-
fucking
I
welcome that
bet
I'm thinking about
bet
you.
He went to like a house
Yeah.
party, like a frat
You
party,
not
and was like,
post
"Can I
this?
speak to the booker?"
Yeah. We'll post this in
like
6
that.
months, but in 6 months you'll have the clip.
Okay.
Wait,
great.
this isn't
Please
getting
don't
posted
post
for
it or
6
tag
months?
me.
Oh, dude, we're Natalie. Please back
This
me
is
up.
like the 12th banked episode that we
yeah,
have.
Damn it.
yeah. No, we
Dude,
are.
honestly, I'm cooked right now. Like, I'm glad. I hope in 6 months I have a full like glow up, and then everyone's like, "Oh, why did Josue look ugly in this thing?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"That was back
I
then."
No,
got
it'd be
dates to
good.
plug like this week.
No, it's gonna be useless. Honestly, yeah.
We're not allowed to say the date on the
Yeah,
podcast.
Yo,
we never
yo,
say the date of the podcast.
Yo, if you got a time machine, yo, I got a show coming up.
All right.
If you have shows in April of next year, you could definitely plug them right now.
Yo, if
I
I
have a
don't wake
May
up
show
one
on
day and
Thursday.
don't quit, I have a show at. Nah, I'm joking.
I'm just gonna get fat as fuck and just like not look like anything.
Get fat.
Yeah, look-
Get fat.
Whoa, that was
Whoa.
mean.
right? Talk about my body.
Yeah, your testosterone.
Is
is
that
gonna
why
go
you got
down.
canceled? Were you fat shaming somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Actually, that was one of the things.
Oh my God! All right.
He looks
tell
like
us.
he's a bully.
Tell
Go.
us. Tell us. Tell us.
I look like I'm a bully.
Yeah.
Like this?
bully?
Oh god.
I
it
get
sucked.
more school
Yeah.
shooter vibes from you.
Really?
Yeah, 1000%.
Especially after a set, dude.
No,
I'm
Yeah.
But like,
But like failed
like
school
elegant
shooter.
school shooter.
Yeah.
No,
like a nice
failed school
Italian
shooter.
gun.
I feel like you would you'd get through the metal detector. You'd
There's no
think
metal
about what you
detector.
did.
Immediately tackled.
Yeah, just
not
tackled,
even-
or
Metal
like
detector,
you
what
realize
school
how
do you think I went
complicated it
to?
is, and just put it in your
You're just
mouth.
in the handcuffs crying like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to.
You would too if you were bullied.
He's got a gun in his backpack, and he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell the security guard.
I
Just
get
telling myself.
I get put in front of a judge. I know what I look like.
I know what you're all
So,
thinking
how
right
are you
now.
guys doing tonight?
It was just a flare gun.
Any couples?
Yo, judge, you look okay.
All right, tell us a story. You got canceled
Okay, so
Jesus,
why are you saying Jesus?
because that's a crazy.
It is
In
It's
high
stupid.
school.
There's no
There's
like,
no
other
way the
word for
story's
it.
gonna be as good as the
Yeah, I know,
build-up.
right? He's gonna be
get
like, I
visual.
drew something. I drew a penis on the bathroom stall, but it was actually the girls' bathroom. Oh.
Okay, so just a preface, you guys are gonna hear us and go like, "Oh, who gives a fuck?" But like when you're in high school and like that's your whole life every day, it feels much bigger than what it really is. So,
Right.
starting out, I started comedy a week before 10th grade. You know,
No
so I'm
way.
doing it like I'm like 4 or 5 open mics a week, not this big schedule. I decided to like make this like video I was gonna post, just like a silly video. Me and my friends, like there were some
no.
sketches, some man on the street, some like reaction videos, dumb stuff like that. One of the things was that I was making fun of people's Tinder profiles.
Real people's Tinder profiles.
Yeah, real Tinder profiles. I would take a screenshot and just say like a dumb comment, whatever.
Sounds good.
It was all men, by the way, because I'm gay. But
What?
You didn't have
Nah,
to tell us.
I believe that.
Yeah. But no, it was all women, so that like already gave off like a thing of like a misogynist vibe because I'm only making fun of women on this thing. Just that's because who's on my Tinder.
Simply
But
because
it
you
already
couldn't talk to women too. That's the only reason.
yeah. By the way, 15 on Tinder. What are you doing? But yeah. So
What were you expecting?
I was on Tinder at 15.
I was literally browsing just to make fun of people's profiles and just see funny
Nah,
shit.
you want to get molested, bro? You're like,
I mean, yeah. Separately, I also do want to get molested,
wanted
but
it.
this was besides the point. So I was making fun of girls' Tinder, and there were two comments that like pissed people off. The first one was I saw a plus-sized girl, and her caption was "I'm not afraid to eat in front of guys." And my riff
That's kinda
was actually, "It looks like you're just not afraid to eat." And
How
this got
dare you.
people really mad.
How
Yeah,
dare you?
and there was one that was also equally as funny but more misogynistic. Was there was a girl that said like I don't know my lefts and rights, but I can still drive. And I was like, actually it says here you're a woman, and people did not like that. Yeah. But it was just like throwaway. It's kind of jokes like you say at an open mic, you never say them again. Like just
Bad
throwaway
jokes.
riffs. But
I
I
don't
posted them on
say that.
YouTube. But you posted on YouTube, so it's like it's there forever, and people are like, "Oh, this is who you are." Because think about it too. 10th grade, 9th grade was all during COVID, so nobody knows who each other is. You all know the 10 kids in your pod. Then in 10th grade, I was
In
like,
your pod?
Exactly
What?
like we were all in 9th grade during
We
COVID,
were all
too.
in the
It's like,
pod
keep
of
in
the
mind.
spaceship.
yeah. Right.
Why'd you say it like Trump? When he walked in, it's the alien.
You don't have the cards. Our
Yeah.
pod is bigger.
Right.
Well,
Like-
I love how you said, by the way, you're like, it's on YouTube, it's there forever. Like, my man's never learned about the delete button.
No. I deleted it, but kids take screenshots. It's Gen Z.
He's like standing over a delete button, like, what do I do? Everything's on the line.
What is this? I don't
I
understand.
would have totally been one of the kids who snitched on him too. Look what Tomas
there was
did.
no
Teacher.
snitching. Well,
Yeah.
like there was no snitching. My friend posted it like, "Oh, look what a hilarious video." Then kids were like, this is disgusting." And then like it
So
just
your
became,
friend's
like, hell.
the enemy.
Does your
You're
guidance
fucking enemy,
counselor
you just-
fucking follow you or some shit? Like,
No. There was no getting in trouble with the school. It was just like every girl in the grade was like, I couldn't walk in the hall. Like I couldn't go in an elevator without like getting yelled at or like. This sounds made up, but like girls would camp like on them on the
Damn.
10th floor. Where
he was
I
like
class.
Mark Zuckerberg in the social network. Like, it was like,
Yeah.
you dick.
I couldn't leave the house, but girls would like wait in front of the boys' bathroom just to like walk and go in and just like yell at me and so like I like that. It, yeah,
How big of a school
well,
did you go to?
Yeah.
like
How big was your
120
pod?
120 per grade.
120 per grade.
That's a lot of.
That
that's
is a
what?
lot of kids.
It's
That's,
not for a New
uh,
York school.
No, for a New York school, it's not a lot.
For New York City school.
New York schools, like there's 3 schools
They're-
in one
yeah,
building.
grades in
That's
one.
how
So that's
fucking
60
overpopulated the
girls.
schools
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, but like again,
Huh.
like this, you're gonna hear this and be like, "Oh, that's so gay." Like I wouldn't even care, but it's like no, like this destroyed me when every girl is like, "You're disgusting misogynist," and then all the friends are like, "We don't want to hang out with you anymore if girls think about." So this was like,
You're scaring the hoes.
like
Bro,
this was
bro,
like a
you a cool guy.
transformative-
Honestly though, I understand how that dynamic affected
yeah.
you.
Right. So like
Yeah.
that's like the Tomas Liebel origin story of like then I went full into comedy and it's like that's where like my youth was like bye and that's when I just started doing like 8-10 sets a week.
Hmm.
to
This
try to
explains
get
so
better.
much.
So when does the part where you become funny come in?
Wow!
Like you've lost so much. But like,
Yeah,
I'm not-
like-
where's the,
Like, where's the part
talk-
where
But what is it all for?
Talk-
We're
talk-
still on the road
dude.
to redemption.
Talk
dude.
about
We're
diminishing
still-
return, dude. Fuck it.
He's over there.
That's not what diminishing
Bro,
returns
yo,
means.
Tomas literally was like, "I'm gonna show y'all one day," and then he
Yeah.
never showed up. he showed up the worst. Like,
Yeah.
he had his chance with his friends, and he's like, "What if I just fucking ruined that?"
He's like, "You guys wait." And then
Raffy,
Yeah.
what was high school like for you?
I dropped out in the 9th grade.
Cool. Anyway,
Really?
They let you do that?
Huh?
They let you do that
I
in
was-
ninth
let you
grade?
I was
dropped out.
17, dude. I just stopped showing
You were
up.
17 in the 9th
I
grade.
got left back.
yeah,
dude,
that's the crazier part of the story.
Yeah.
Wait, you got left back and went to summer
No,
school?
dude. So I got left back 3rd, 4th,
Like,
and 5th
wait,
grade.
you failed summer school too?
Yeah, dude. I was just a
he's
bad
like, "Yeah."
What were you busy doing?
He's like,
Cocaine.
he was like, "I was a freshman in high
The
school.
wrong
I had a
things.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was 21. She was."
No,
Well, was it
I
because
didn't
nobody
have
was
like
there to,
I
like,
wasn't
telling
getting
you what to
pussy
do?
or anything. I was just hanging out with like my cousins, like smoking weed, doing bad shit.
That's
That
it?
was-
That was
shit.
what it was for?
And I hated school. I just always hated school.
Yeah, and I
so
love
I
school,
failed
yeah.
3 grades.
Did you ever try getting
consecutively.
diagnosed for ADHD?
They probably would have.
I don't even
Yeah.
think. I don't think that's ADHD.
I don't.
Think
I'm
that's
just retarded.
Maybe you're dyslexic or
No.
something. And,
Yeah,
I'm
you
trying to
might be
overdose our
dyslexic.
generation, Christos.
What's because like school was fun when you did well in it.
That is
Yeah, that
true.
was the best
School
part.
was fun.
Like
Like,
on tests?
yeah, like if I got a great grade on a test, I was mad hyped.
I moved around a lot too, so like I was
Yeah.
always in like a different school like every year. So like I had no friends ever. So like there was never like any like reason for me like to do well. I
Damn,
like,
yeah, because you
like-
just felt like a visitor.
yeah.
I think it has a
yeah.
lot to do with too that your parents like. But dude, if I didn't do
Yeah.
well in school, I was in trouble, dude.
Yeah.
Like I could have no like. All the toys taken away, no surfboards, no this, no going to this, that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, I was hit. If I didn't do it, I was punched by my like. You're like, yeah, my fucking surfboard time. My surf
That's
privilege. Mom and dad, come on.
Stop! That's
Yeah.
like my Kelly Slater
You
signature.
know what?
Stop,
Fine.
bro.
I didn't even want to surf anyway. I'm going to my room and play Xbox Live, and you can't do anything. Like that.
Fucking
Live.
ridiculous.
This guy's
And tell
40
the
years
maid
old.
like
Yeah.
she's like
Xbox
annoying
Live.
my room.
What do you mean? I can't go in the in-house theater. I want to. It was really bad.
No
for-
pool table go for you.
Yeah. You see, he got like an A minus. He's like, I'm a fucking failure. And then you turn into a doctor, so fucking it's great, dude.
They tried to like get me to fucking do all, like, they really tried everything. They tried like the positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, hitting, like they really
The sexual
just never
reinforcement.
Your parents
worked.
had the
Just like-
strategies like that. They were reading from books. They were like positive reinforcement. Those were your parents.
They would try, like they would try.
Really?
Like,
At a certain point, yeah,
oh,
you do
man.
everything you can. You bribe them. You know, you're like, oh, you know.
What about you, Josue? What happened with you?
What happened with me?
What happened?
I don't know. I mean, it was just like enough to get by, really. I mean, I
Did
just
you do well in school?
that was the thing. Some years I did, some years I didn't. It really depended on like what the classes were. Like, I mean, I did take like AP classes, but then like I struggled in those. But then I did well in like just regular common classes. Nothing really.
Did you take the SAT?
I did not. No, I just was
You
like,
didn't have any intention of going to college?
not really, honestly. I mean, I was
You
just,
just
I
knew
didn't,
you were doing.
I didn't think that far ahead, and I think that's my biggest grab. I didn't really see like.
But it's not really your job as a kid to think. I feel like it's your parents'
Yeah,
responsibility.
your parents kind of have to be like,
Yeah.
yo, this is what you got to do.
But even then, they were like,
what's the line when you start thinking ahead?
The AP in Josue's AP classes standard for ass popping. He was
Yeah,
popping his
ass popping.
ass.
Class.
I
Dude,
will say, I did. Here's the funniest thing I think I remember from high school. I don't even know. We had like homeroom, and then we're like in our homeroom classes, and then they give us like this piece of paper, and it's just like classes for next year or whatever that you're gonna take, like junior into senior. And then I look at the class rank, and it was like out of 702 kids in our class, 702, I was maybe like 538 or something like that, and I was
Class rank is crazy.
that's crazy.
I literally, I think one of my first jokes in stand up was, I think I'd said something like, oh yeah, we got that like whatever rank. It was like 702 kids. I was in the top 800 or something like that. Like, you know, kind of.
Why the fuck do you have Pokemon cards?
Oh, our sponsor is Pokemon.
No, they aren't.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
definitely
Yeah, we're
Ho-
our sponsor is Pokemon. The Japanese.
Nintendo's gonna be
Japanese.
pissed.
told
What did
you?
they give you? 5 cents?
No, they give us packs to open on the thing.
Are you kidding?
Oh, we're
Let me open it
Yeah.
back.
we're
We
sponsored
open
by a
packs-
shop that sells Pokemon. We're not
No,
sponsored
we're
by
sponsored
Nintendo.
by the Japanese Pokemon TCG. Natalie,
Why are you lying?
The
So who
networks
gets to
are
open
you.
the cards?
I
out of
like these
three?
guys.
you like them?
Yeah, you've grown on me.
Thank
Us
you,
three
Natalie.
or the Pokemon people?
No, the three of you guys. You're
Oh.
the first people to ever call out that that's not a real sponsor.
Putting the system on trial.
I think it's funny until the day comes where they do it. I've
Poor
also been trying to
Natalie,
get
listen to your
Christos
bullshit.
Steakhouse in Astoria to sponsor this, and they're fucking
Wait,
assholes.
Astoria?
That's more
Yeah,
like
realistic.
like the
They're
place in
assholes for not
Queens?
sponsoring.
There's
it's
a place in
called
Queens called
Christos.
Christos Steakhouse.
Wackest Steakhouse.
Yeah,
ever.
it's not-
until you sponsor us.
Yeah,
then
once you
you'll say
sponsor
nice
us,
things.
only good things.
What makes them assholes?
Well, I messaged them. I like basically I called them out.
You're like, what up, noobs?
He's just mad that you have the same name and they won't acknowledge you.
Yeah,
It's just-
yeah, exactly.
There's
That's
a lot of
kinda what it is.
Christoses out there, dude.
Yeah, but they a lot of Christoses follow me. Like across Greece, like I'll see someone named Christos follow me all the time.
Shout out
So-
to
What, you're
Christos.
trying to
But
make
the
Army.
Christos, like,
steakhouse, they
brand?
responded to
Yeah,
me.
What did they say?
And they were like, "Oh, they were like, oh, you're interested in doing a video with us?" Because like I made a story and I tagged them, and I was like, "Make me be your person to like do these things,
Dude,
right?"
Pokemon's fucking whack.
Do we open
I
these?
never fucking
Yeah,
liked
you're
it.
gonna open them.
Gonna open them.
But yeah, so they were like, "What kind of video were you thinking?" I was like, "We could make like a commercial together," and then they ghosted me.
So
And they're
have you guys had a
assholes for
lot
that?
of
Yeah, they
experience
should
with
answer me.
Pokemon?
I hate
You grew up
Pokemon.
playing.
I love
Yeah.
Pokemon. I
It's
actually have
never my
completed
thing.
a bunch of Pokedexes. I've played pretty much every major Pokemon game.
All right, someone
uh,
show your pulls first.
I was more like a Batman pornography kid.
That's good. All right,
Okay.
so I'll show you how we do it. Right on the pod, you're gonna draw the.
Wait,
the
before we
re-
do it, like,
yeah.
did you guys ever watch like those porn parodies? Like,
No.
Did you ever get into those?
Bro,
No.
what are you talking about?
No, like the.
What are you?
Like the
Pornography?
parody?
What is that?
like a. Oh, yeah, you're doing the bit.
Yeah, I
A
didn't
bad
know.
one.
It was awful.
All right, so you gotta show the screen.
There was
but
a
like
Smurfs
only
one
one
I
is
really
the
liked.
shiny that it matters. Okay, this is the Journey Together set.
This is dumb.
Do we have to put something towards the back of the thing, or we just,
No, just like keep pulling until you get a shiny card.
and then just don't reveal it?
Okay, so
I
my
got a
first
shiny one.
Yeah, I got this Dunsparce,
This one
and I
looks
got a
like,
Dalmatian.
I got a Joltik.
It looks like a Shih Tzu.
All right,
Okay.
I have 3 shiny ones.
Okay, nice. Who has a better one than me? So far, I have the
Which-
coolest one.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I
Show me. No,
No,
nothing.
because then look, there's this one.
Okay,
and
yeah.
then there's this
Great. Oh, that's a good one. That's pretty good. Yeah. Okay.
Joltik.
Okay. What else?
Wouldn't it be funny just to make it rain these on a homeless guy?
That would be terrible.
This is great for
That would be
audio
demeaning. Okay, Josue, you have 2 more cards.
Do I?
2 more shinies.
Oh.
Don't mess them up. Jesus Christ.
I have Cling.
Okay, what else?
Ew, this one's cum. This is literally splooge.
What
Look
is
at that.
Ew, this one's
Whoa.
cum.
This one's cum.
You don't have another
That's how I
shiny
said
one?
it.
I do. Butterfree.
Oh, wow. So I got the best one. Why does no one pull good ones?
Because it's Pokemon. There
It's
are no
Pokemon.
good ones. Isn't it so
There are
lame the
some good
videos
ones.
of like grown men going
Oh
to like
my
stores
God.
buying all the Pokemon cards,
Yeah.
ruining it for children?
Yeah, I hate it.
I
I
don't
hate
do
it.
that. I
Do
don't.
you
do that?
I don't do that now.
He's not an adult.
We do, like, we just get like a rare one and open it.
Mhm.
You know, like we just get like we have this Japanese Eevee set that's really rare and has like all the Japanese evolutions of Eevee.
Yeah.
It was like a $500 box. So that's what we open here.
You know, I work at like an anime shop, right? And people
Yeah.
like always coming in to sell like their bullshit that's worth nothing. So
Yeah.
like when it's like really dead, I like to just like waste their time and look at it like as if like I'm kind of interested and
Mhm.
offer them
Right.
like 50 cents.
Right.
Mm.
That's
Just
funny.
Wow.
What's like the
Playing
craziest thing
consoles.
that's ever happened? Like, what's like the craziest thing that somebody's asked for their card?
The craziest
Sex.
thing,
Okay,
people are
sex.
always like reasonable with the cards, but like the craziest things, people will like bring in junk that like their grandma bought them, and like because like their grandma says it's worth something,
Right.
like they think.
Yeah.
So like this one lady brought in like shitty McDonald's like Aladdin toys,
Okay.
and like I didn't want her to waste her time going somewhere else, so like I
Yeah.
tried to tell her, like, man, these really like weren't worth much, like they like a lot of people kept these, and and yeah, she just flipped the fuck out on me.
How big is
Like,
this the store?
It's a pretty big store.
Do they have room for a comedy show?
I've tried. They said no.
Okay, because I'm starting a production.
They're like,
company.
look, we're virgins enough as it is. We really don't.
Just don't want to see a young N-word win.
All right, I think we're ready for the lightning round. Yeah.
Yep, lightning round. Let's go.
All right, so I guess we've never had 3 guests at one time. So should we ask the same question to each of the 3 guests? We might
Yeah,
as well.
we'll just
I'm the
go-
biggest,
we'll
I'm the
repeat
biggest.
question.
Okay,
we'll
so
say.
we're gonna. So here the question is as
Israel,
follows: you guys get in
Taiwan.
big trouble. You get arrested.
Okay,
Who's the first person you call?
my father.
Your
Okay.
father.
My
Okay.
the most
Yeah.
privileged answer.
Yeah,
my
Papa.
father.
Papa will
Papa.
rescue me.
Papa,
Papa.
you told me these bacon swines would get me one day,
I
and you
know.
were right, Papa.
My dad's a lawyer. How dare you?
I'd
about
like
you,
to
Raffy?
discuss this at home, but hurry, their
Raffy's
bail
like,
is 10,000.
The first time I got arrested, I called.
The first
I
time I,
almost
did
got
get
arrested
arrested,
one
I
time.
got called my aunts. I would call my aunts.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Peter
why
Parker.
did you call your aunt?
She's the person who raised me. She was
Oh,
like,
okay.
that's my
Alright.
ride or die.
Is she like is she in law enforcement or anything, or have like?
No,
connections
she
with-
doesn't have a connection. She just would be
She was
the
like your
one
guardian.
to like
I
fucking
gotcha.
come pay my bill. you
And
know?
what did she do? Was she really mad at you, or was she like?
She was fucking pissed. I was doing graffiti in a fucking alleyway with
Right.
one of my friends, and this male Karen across the street saw us, and he thought we were breaking into the restaurant of the alleyway.
You were just drawing dicks on the wall.
hmm And what's crazy is so like we
That's
had
his
a
bad
bunch of
childhood.
paint on us, and like back then we were like young dudes. It was hard to get fucking your hands on spray paint. So like I had
Right.
this duffel bag full, and they were coming, so I had to just hawk it onto the fucking roof, and it sucks. And immediately, right as we got caught, so like, you know, if the cops ask you if you were doing something that you were doing, say no.
Mhm.
And so the cops asked me and my buddy, like, have you guys been paying tonight? And like, no, officer, like, follow my lead, man. And my boy goes, a bit.
Why did you say a bit?
He's like,
Like, a bit. Like, oh, just a bit? Go ahead.
It's,
Why
it's,
are you
it's
trying to
funny
be
you.
coy?
It's funny you mentioned that.
How about you,
It's like a
Josue?
little.
Yeah, he's like, dude,
Josue, have you ever gotten arrested?
okay, basically, kinda, sorta, not really. It was just like a
Detained.
wrong place, wrong time. Long story short, I bolted across the street where they're on the corner. There had been a place that had just been robbed, literally, maybe 30 minutes, an hour before, and they saw me and they thought it was me. And then it was 2 cops, and they're like, "Yo, you stand right there, or whatever." And I stood. They put me in handcuffs, and I was just like, "Oh man, this is on a school night." And then, 'cause it
Oh,
was,
nuts.
it was on a
Fucking
And-
Wednesdays.
well, and then I guess to preface, I was with I was in downtown Redwood City in California, and then there was these two guys who, like, at the time in school, they were like the cool kids. They were kind of like the back then version of like Doc Jud and Christos. And
Yeah, right.
they were short. And, and
They were midgets.
they were like I towered them. But I was like, they're like, hey, what's up, Josue? Do you want to hang out? And I was like, yeah, dude. Like they were riding on a motorized shopping cart, like those ones you find at like Target or Walmart.
Oh, like the easy scooter.
The easy scooter, yeah, and they're fucking, they're
rascals.
kids. Yeah, they
Yeah.
took them out. We're in the thing.
Those are fun.
And I'm not gonna lie, a cop did come up to us, and he was like, "Gentlemen, just put it back, take it back. I don't have to do this, whatever." And then we're like, "Thank you." And then we go somewhere, and then, by the way, in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, I'm with the cool kids or whatever." And then they go across. Like at one point, the guy's mom calls him. He's like, "Oh, me and him, we have to go across the street and talk to my mom." He goes, talks to his mom, and then he's like, "Josue, go get the cart." We like dropped it across the street, and go get it. And so I bolted, and then the same cop we had saw earlier was there. And he's like, "Oh, I saw." He pulled me a hand. He's like, "Oh, you're from the kid from earlier, you know."
Mexican.
Yeah, literally. And then and I'm not gonna lie, I looked sketch. My phone at the time, it was busted. It was like the home button. It was like the old iPhone 6 or whatever. It was like gone. It was cracked. It was not a good look. It was. It did nothing.
But he let you go.
He called my dad.
Okay.
He made me call my dad, and
This is
then
a bad story.
my
Dude,
dad.
you know what's funny? He started this
Fuck
story
you.
with, I'll make a long story short.
Yeah,
did
that's
your-
true.
Yeah.
So okay, so if you got really arrested, who would you call? Would you call your dad?
Maybe back then, but now like he's across the country, so I don't even know.
Mm.
Probably, I would probably call my dad, and then if it was like, but if something needed to be done, I'd probably call like maybe like my roommate who like works with me. I'd be like, "Yo, tell like this person I'm like in jail or whatever."
I'd
So
call
just
ICE.
you know, like that's the society we live in. I'm like, oh, I got to make sure I find coverage.
You don't have anybody to bail you out, bring bail money, post bond.
Would you bail us out?
I would bail you out
All right.
if it wasn't something that was violent, malicious.
If
Yeah.
I stabbed
So
the
I
kid
would
in the
I would
chest at a
only
track
bail you
meet,
out. Yeah,
would
see,
you-
I would only bail you out if it was something violent.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
what are
where
you
have
getting
coverage
arrested
him.
for? That's kind of like he was messing around like that. No,
Well, it sounds like Raffy did with the spray paint.
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
You want to hear a funny thing about that too? So like, the cops ran my record. I was clean, and they ran the record of the guy that I was with, who decided to talk. He had a prior, and he spent 2 days in there. I left his ass there.
What an idiot,
It's
dude.
really funny.
But he was a key. He wasn't a. You guys were juveniles at the time.
I was a juvenile.
He
was
probably
a-
he
Okay,
probably
okay.
has the record because the last time the same thing. Yo, were you like stealing that bike?
yeah, kind
Stolen is a harsh
A little
word.
I was borrowing it for an
Just a
extended
little-
amount of.
yeah, just a
All
little
All right,
Hell
next
yeah.
question. Next question is going to come from Christos.
Okay. What is one hack that you know that more people should know about? One life hack.
Josue's a hack.
Ooh.
Wow.
It
But
was
you
right
think more
there.
people should know about him? Because I think you should hide.
Top 5 most slept on hacks.
Yeah.
Slept
Good.
on that.
I'm trying to think.
In today's YouTube episode, we're going to look at the 5 biggest hacks in comedy.
Number one,
Number
Raffy
one.
Truman. Raffy Truman made a joke recently where the preface was, "Is anyone here in therapy?" Fuck. What is a life hack?
Honorable mentions.
I'm trying to think, honestly. If you work at a restaurant, ask the cooks for like ingredients and then just like make food at home. Honestly, biggest like if there's a means and if you can, just like ask for ingredients. Like of course ask for a meal if you can, but if like they're kind of like that, just be like, oh, let me get like whatever, like
Give me a chicken breast.
kind of yeah, or just like, yo, give me a tortilla, rice and beans, guac, and then you make a burrito at home. You know,
Yeah.
maybe you buy the meat at home, but like that's a hack.
So the chefs don't like you.
They love me.
Okay, so they make you real meals.
They do. It's vegan where I work.
The V spot.
The V spot, yeah.
So they give you vegan meals.
They do, but
Yeah.
And then you're like, I need to add meat to this.
Yeah.
later.
So I'll just sometimes be like, give me all the components to make it, and then I'll just
Yeah.
buy the. It's a little hack.
I did a promo for the V spot.
They-
Oh, did you?
And we've got it.
Wow!
How about you, Raffy? What's a life hack that you have picked up?
Dude,
If you date a comic, you kind of like the
Stop.
Yeah, tell us about dating a comic.
Yeah, this is a lightning round also, so
Yeah, this is
fucking
the
keep it under
slowest lightning
20
round.
fucking minutes for your
well, for my
answers.
life hack, I was gonna say stealing from the self checkout is the wave. I enjoy that
From
very
Whole
much.
Foods?
Just in any self checkout.
I like the Wegmans on Astor Place.
I gotta start going. to
That's
that.
not
Are you doxing yourself right now?
Dude, that is not a hack.
Wegmans
That's
isn't
stealing.
listening.
All right. Okay. So
Yo, here's a life hack.
We have one listener, and it's the head of security at Wegmans. He's like, I fucking knew I'd recognize that guy.
He does open
Okay.
mic comedy on the side.
good answer. Good answer.
Dude,
Tomas.
you could just grab a plate of sushi and walk out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, hopefully it's too.
Mm.
But I've never done it. But so this is not exactly a life hack, but I did. I went to a coffee shop and there's like a little bits of plastic in my coffee, like sharp plastic. So I complained to the people, and they didn't have it. Like I complained. They will give you a gift card. They didn't have a good gift card system set up. So now I have like $100 gift card, but they don't know how to refund it. So I go to the locations of this coffee shop. I go to the cashier. I go, hey, I want to use the gift card. They're like, actually, we don't know how to use that, so we'll just give it to you for free. So I've been going to every location and just getting free coffee without even spending the money that I got for free. So now I have like infinite free coffee at Blank Street. Just
So
by,
you
like-
recommend getting
Wow.
a gift card
Not
at
to
a place that
ESN
they
that.
don't know how to actually utilize the
I didn't
gift
even buy
card,
the gift
so
card
you have-
though.
Oh, so you're saying fuck a small business?
It's not a small
Literally.
business. It's an annoying coffee chain that's infiltrated New York that charges like $8 for a matcha latte. That's
And
not
let's
a-
be
$8
honest.
for a matcha latte?
well, like shit like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like
it's
an
not even
annoying-
real matcha.
coffee
I've heard
chain.
at Starbucks. I've heard apparently the rule is if you get a drink and you drink it even to completion and you didn't
completion.
like it, then they have to remake it. So
Really?
yeah, you could just I heard. I mean,
Let's go try that after this.
Yeah, I'd be down.
like you go, you drink it. If you're like I didn't like it or something was wrong, then they have to remake it. From
But five
scratch.
guys doing it at once.
Yeah.
Like, we all didn't like our
Yeah.
drink.
They're like,
well-
it's just a slow day of people doing it today. It's only like
We don't know
15
each
people.
other. We just thought you fucking
Yeah.
suck at your job.
So you,
Dude, we
they'll
go in
judge
there,
you.
we do
They'll-
it, and then you're like, me too.
I took a sip of his drink too. I didn't care
I
for
didn't
it
like
either.
it.
Well, we should
I
do-
like mine though.
Hey,
Here's
buddy,
what-
try this.
Yo, here's what we should do: drink it to completion.
To
We go to
completion.
the-
Why do you keep saying to completion, bro?
Because that's the
it's so weird.
Somebody
Because-
learn a new word.
It's sexually
Because like if you
charged.
take a sip and you're like, oh, this is bad, then it's kind of like that's one thing. But like it's just even
Yeah, you
if,
drink the whole thing.
Basically, Starbucks is
Yeah.
like if you just are a bad person, we'll give you a free drink or whatever.
Damn.
Have you guys ever complained at a restaurant?
Yeah,
Like,
of
is it-
course.
You're a Karen like
I
that?
don't
Oh,
do it.
100%.
I can't.
100%. If
don't
they
do it,
know
yeah.
they fucked up, they're expecting it.
But it's not a fuck up. It's like a small thing. We're
No,
talking
no.
about being like,
If,
yeah.
if it's a fuck up, I'm telling them.
oh
for
fuck
sure.
up, everyone
Yeah.
tells
I've-
them.
Dude,
I'm-
I've eaten around hairs. Like
I've never had a complaint.
Oh
Well,
no,
all
no.
same.
If I find a hair in there, I'm telling them.
That's great.
100%.
My biggest concern
Raffy,
is that
you've
if you
eaten
complain
around
at a
hairs?
restaurant, they're
Being
gonna
honest.
destroy your food. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm never like I hate it when I'm with somebody who's being rude to a waiter. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
Oh
the
yeah, that's
worst.
you
such
are
a turn off.
you just totally just made us so vulnerable. I'm like, I'm never eating with you again.
I hear
Christos,
you.
I don't
Or
know
if a
about
girl
you.
does that
Yeah.
on a date, like she's
Yeah,
like rude
no,
to
it's
the staff,
awful.
I'm like,
No.
Such a turn
Yeah.
off.
She's
So,
out.
so in Brazilian culture, that's all they do. No respect for the waiters, because waiters there don't make any money. So like, you're below me. Is that the same thing in Greece? Because in Brazil, it's like
No.
the worst. It's like awful. People disrespect. It's like it makes me so uncomfortable.
No,
dude.
in Greece it's all
Yeah.
about like.
Yeah, we're talking about
filopimo,
America.
which
We're-
is like you kind of everybody is your friend. Like you talk
Right.
to everyone kind of nicely, but you'll have older heads and older ladies
Yeah.
that will be like, "Hey, this is undercooked. Like cook it more." And
Oh,
they're like-
Karens are universal.
yeah,
My
they're
mom's name is
universal.
Karen, and she is a Karen.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So do you guys need any medical advice? Anybody have any questions?
My
every
dick
time
hurts.
every time I look at
Dick
you,
hurts?
every
Dick
time
hurts.
I look
Too
at you,
much
I get a
fuck, yeah.
boner, and I
Do
know I'm
you,
not
uh,
supposed to. So
It happens. Listen,
Maybe
it
you are
happens.
supposed to.
If you wait,
It's
if
the
you-
shirt.
I have a question. If
Yeah.
you're having sex with a girl,
Mhm.
anally,
Hypothetical.
Yeah.
like in the butt,
Yeah.
and you get shit on your dick,
Oh my
Mhm.
like inside your dick, like the
In the
behind
in
the
the
skin.
in the
In the
urethral meatus.
urethra
Yeah.
tract.
And
is
then
it bad
I
if you
lick
don't?
it.
Is it bad if you don't clean it immediately?
No, you should clean it.
What,
should
what, what,
clean
what
it.
would prompt you to not clean it immediately?
Like, what if I got shit to do?
You got
That
shit
is
to
the
do?
first thing
you
you
got
should
shit on you.
address.
I have a
Forgiveness
medical
and
question. So I have like
I
this
would
weird.
say I would probably if you have feces on your penis, I would recommend washing it with soap and water as soon as possible.
All
Raffy.
right, fine.
Good question. Tomas, any from you?
Honestly, no, because I've seen a million doctors in like the last few months. So
Why are you
I've
okay?
had this like weird sickness since the beginning of school.
and you didn't think
Sounds
to
like
like
you do need some
contact
medical advice.
Dr. Judd?
yeah. What's
Dude,
going
I've
on,
seen
man?
like an allergist, an ENT, like a.
Oh, he's Jewish.
Mm.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah, we have
right.
allergies.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
we're
what's
allergic to
wrong
everything.
with you?
I don't. There's like it's not interesting, but I'm taking allergy medication. I'm gonna be put on like dust allergy tablets to and then
I have a
I'm
dust
taking
allergy.
You're taking
I'm
dust?
also on a
medication.
crazy like diet right now that my doctor put me on, like sober, no gluten, and then that's making me feel better. But before I went on that diet, it was just like I was sick for a year.
Bro, you're on a diet. You're 19.
I know,
bro.
that's what I'm
You
saying.
just
I can't
started,
eat fucking
bro.
bread. Other kids my age are eating ass, and I'm like, I can't have gluten. like, yeah.
No, they're not. I've seen NYU students. They're not eating.
Such a hard
They're
life.
You're
eating
like,
each
well,
other's
actually-
dicks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're like, actually, I'm sucking penis. That's what.
Sucking penis.
I
Any-
suck penis because it's more empowering than eating
Who
ass.
says sucking
Any other
penis?
questions for the lightning round?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's the other one? The
Okay, so
best
I got another one
pizza.
for you. Yeah, well,
let's actually
okay,
do
who's got?
lightning, though.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Do it, do it.
So you guys are all from New York City, or at least you live in New York City.
I
You
swear to
grow
God,
up
if you
here.
ask me about
What
fucking
is?
pizza,
Yeah,
I'm
what's
gonna-
where's the best slice?
I have actually a good answer for this.
Mm-hmm.
I recently did. You guys know Comedy Underground Overgrown?
No.
So
Like
they
the Comedy Sellers place.
No. So it's a comedy organization. You probably have heard of them. They've produced shows at like Katz's Deli, Peter Luger's, The Edge. They're pretty big. They recently had a show at Lucali in Brooklyn, sponsored by a credit card company called Built.
Oh, the pizza place Lucali.
Lucali, yeah,
Yeah.
which is literally 5 minutes from where I grew up with my mom in Brooklyn. So I was like,
Uh-huh.
this is crazy. I went to do the show there, and like I ate like a whole pizza pie because like it was like a private event, and these fucking finance bros and they're like trophy wise didn't want to eat fucking pizza because they're like, eh. So then they just give like the staff, and they just kept offering me pizza, a really good slice. Lucali, you guys have heard of
Never been there.
Lucali?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Like Beyonce and Jay-Z. It's like a famous pizza place. You can't get a reservation there. It's really, and it's there, and they're literally giving me slices. They're like, hey, do you want more? Do you want more? It was like amazing. I left
Cool.
with jars of Lucali sauce, dude. Crazy.
If pedophiles eat it, you know it's bomb.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that's
Jay-Z a
true.
pedophile?
I don't know.
Jay Z
right.
Jay Z
Put 'em
is
there.
definitely in a lot
The
of
charges
the
were
P.
dropped.
Where's your
Diddy
favorite
stuff.
slice?
Favorite slice? Ooh. I'm probably gonna have to go with I don't even know.
Wow. Okay.
Like Two Bros has been very reliable for
I
me.
knew
The
you were gonna
one
say
dollar
some dumb
pizza.
shit.
The $1 pizza on
Bros.
Okay, I
St.
love
Mark's.
it.
Everybody needs something.
All
We
right.
can't
Mhm.
judge them.
He's from
And finally,
Sacramento.
It's not my
Raffy
favorite.
Truman.
I
Raffy
think
Truman is a true New
Man.
Yorker, Manhattanite.
And I'm not.
Does not like.
What?
He kind of grew up
Well,
in
you're-
like cool New York.
You're from
in, like,
Brooklyn,
not
which is
cool
New York City, but he's from like.
He's from like.
he's a
New
high
York
school
City.
dropout
You
from
heard?
Manhattan.
Yeah, yeah,
You
no.
can't,
older
you can't
than
get
me,
more
I'm
than New York than
serious.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you. First
No,
of all,
he's more New York than me, but I'm still New York.
yeah, but you're like New York. Like most of your adulthood was kind of like during COVID.
Most
Like
of my
New-
adulthood, I'm 19.
Pre-New. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Pre-COVID was what? 6 years ago now.
2020,
Sure.
5. It was
6
fi- it
years
was-
ago was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More or less.
Okay, I'm
So
qualifying
you were
you.
13
You're-
years
you're
old.
Definitely a New York. You're definitely a New Yorker. What's your answer?
I think real New Yorkers like don't give a fuck about pizza because like you can get a decent slice on every block in this fucking
I
town.
agree with that.
There's a lot of
Like,
shitty
it's-
That's
pizza,
an
though.
interesting answer.
That's kind of why I was
Like that's the thing. Like the real question is like where can you still find a prostitute? Like
The
on
real question
street?
is
like
Jackson Heights.
you ever been to that stop on Marcy Avenue where it has the checkers, the Dunkin' Donuts, and the check cashing
Yep.
place? They just have like Korean migrants just
Oh,
selling
wait,
ass.
wait, checkers.
Like,
Really?
right
Wait,
outside-
wait, checkers,
Korean
Dunkin' Donuts, and
migrants
then
eating
Popeyes.
ass.
Yeah.
That's an
Oh,
odd.
oh,
crime
dude,
for
yeah, yeah,
Koreans.
yeah. It's a
Josue
good-
is knowing the
I
location.
love
so he
that
could write
place.
it down.
It's like,
I don't know
wait,
what.
where's that?
I don't know what.
Some of them
Okay.
look all right. Some of them look all right.
Look, I'm-
Okay. Well, we're not gonna implicate you any further.
I did not.
Any other things?
I got one last thing. I think this is relevant.
But to
If-
answer your question, Stromboli Pizza on,
Stromboli.
on
It's like
St.
5 minutes
Mark's
walk
Place.
from
Stromboli.
best
Okay, listen, you guys. You have to invite one deceased comedian to dinner this
Okay.
weekend. Who are you inviting?
pizza.
Ralphie May.
Okay, good
Ralphie
choice.
May. Ralphie May.
That's cool.
Bill Cosby's not dead, right?
You better be cooking a lot of food.
That's what I'm saying.
Boom.
Nah, bro. If we're going to dinner, wait, he's coming over for dinner, or we're going out to dinner?
Either or.
Whatever you want.
Because if we're going out to dinner, and he's hooking me up,
Yeah, the check's covered.
fuck yeah.
So Ralphie May. Okay.
Ralphie
How about
May.
you, Raffy?
I want to go as old as possible. I want to.
Okay.
I want to hang out with someone who did comedy in the fucking 40s.
Lenny Bruce.
Yeah, so I'll probably say.
But like,
Lenny.
what advice could they give you?
No, we're just gonna do heroin. We're not
Uh,
gonna.
That's how I took it.
We're
I
not gonna
thought.
talk about
I
comedy.
thought. At that point,
Tomas.
you could do that with like.
So I'm not a Patrice fan, but I would want to go to dinner with him. It'd be the most.
He would
exciting-
just make fun of you.
Yeah.
He would not even.
That's what I'm saying. That's why.
Would
Like,
not be fun
I
at
don't
all.
Even, I'm not even like a super Patrice guy. Like I am indifferent towards him, but I think he'd be a fun dinner. Yes.
Okay, that's a good answer. Nice. I
What
like
about you
those
guys?
answers.
On a positive note,
Umbreon.
a full art
That shit is
Wow.
trash. The art is bad. Like,
Yeah, it is
Okay.
bad art. You're
Okay.
right. Good point.
Yeah.
Who would you eat?
I think Norm Macdonald.
Norm
Curse is
Norm.
cool. You know, I showed my
Oh,
girl
true, true,
Dirty
true,
Work
true.
the other night. She had
Uh-huh.
never watched it. They don't curse in that movie. It's
Really?
fucking hilarious. The worst word they say is whore. So I
Well,
know-
Norm had a sitcom for a while that was also
It's
they didn't
Richard
really
Pryor's
curse.
last TV appearance was on
Really?
on that show. He looked like shit, dude.
Yeah,
Like, he was, like,
probably.
really busted up.
Damn, that's rough.
Yeah, who would you pick, Christos?
I'd probably pick Robin Williams because he'd be fun the whole
Mm.
time.
That's a
you
good
know?
one. It's a good
Yeah.
one.
I think
I
he'd
want
be-
sad Robin. I want Robin the day before he died.
Nah,
I want to get
that's-
dark.
What
with
did he
him.
die of?
He
What?
killed himself.
Yo,
Yeah, Lewy body dementia, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
He was in the early stages.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was having some issues.
shout out
Yeah.
Louis Body.
Anyway, okay. Ending on a positive note,
Yeah.
how can people find you guys?
Follow me on Instagram, Pretty Raffy Truman. Trying to get my YouTube numbers up there. I got some cool videos on there. Check out Raffy Truman at YouTube, guys.
Well, if you're trying to find Raffy, you can go to the Marcy stop in Brooklyn.
I'm also selling ass on Marcy.
Call that, dude. Nice
Selling
callback.
ass is a crazy term. Okay.
Slinging
else
it.
Yo,
is-
if you want to follow me, keep up with date. My home address is 12. No, I'm joking. I was about to say it. Just my name, Josue Reveles at Instagram.com
Boo.
Instagram.com.
/
At Tomas Liebel Comedy.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay.
Love it. So that's going to
You should all spell your ats. You have names that sound difficult to spell.
That's
yeah,
true.
I'm Raffy RAFFY _ Truman. It's Pretty Raffy Truman. There you go.
It's
Not his real name, by the way.
it's
God damn it.
JOSUE.REVELES _
Tomas.
TOMASLIEBEL Comedy.
And your word
Good
is
job,
you.
Tomas.
Good
job,
So that's our boy.
Thanks, Uncle Chris.
Like,
I
Guys,
also like
thanks for
apples
coming
and
out.
bananas.
4-6 forever.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks,
I know
guys.
it
Of the
was
Thank you,
closet.
guys.
Oh!
All right, so that's going to wrap up our Close the Door Behind You with the crew from Close the Door Behind
Fucking
You.
A, man.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Natalie.
Yeah. And thank you, squad over here, for having
Thank
us.
you, everyone.
Yeah. Fun show, guys.